Welcome to How to Rock Spirit's Sun Moon Alchemy series. This audio was compiled and recorded by Dustin Cormier, a Leo Ascendant Scorpio with Sagittarius Moon, born in the year of the Metal Ram. All the possible Western Sun and Moon sign combinations can be found and learned about here. This information is for educational purposes only. I do not own any of the following content. For more astrology lectures and my own Cosmic Consciousness audio lecture series, check out How to Rock Spirit's YouTube channel, where I rap about everything from philosophy and transpersonal psychology, to psychedelic spirituality, to tantric and occult mysticism, and even to Marx and Engels and the materialist sciences. See you there! Sun in an Earth sign. Basically motivated by material needs and practicality. Recharges energy through working with the physical world, being productive, and feeding the senses. The Sun in the signs, interpretive guidelines. Sun in Capricorn. Creative energy colored by self-control, caution, traditionalism. Essentially values hard work, authority, and achievement. Needs to work single-mindedly and with discipline toward well-defined goals in order to fully express self. Level of vitality is affected and sense of individuality is developed by one's ability to assume responsibility. Flow of creative expression can be frozen by pessimism, a cynical attitude, or too much concern with respectability and appearances. The Moon sign and its element. These notes are also still from Stephen Arroyo's Chart Interpretation Handbook. The element of the Moon's sign represents an attunement from the past that manifests automatically, a mode of feeling and being that one needs to be aware of in order to feel inwardly secure and at home with oneself. This element and experiences related to it feed your need to feel right about yourself. This element and experiences related to it feed your need to feel right about yourself. By such modes of self-expression, you are satisfying a deep inner need that can give stability to your entire personality. The Moon's element also shows how you react instinctively to all experiences, with what energy you spontaneously adjust yourself to the flow of life. Moon in water signs. Reacts to changing experiences with sensitivity and emotion. Feels comfortable with self when feelings are deeply involved. Sign position of the Moon. How one reacts based on subconscious predisposition. Moon in Scorpio. Reacts intensely, passionately, with controlled emotional power. Self-image affected by complex, turbulent emotions. Confidence sometimes undermined by negative emotions or supported by passionate sense of purpose. Depth of feelings and secretiveness contribute to person's mystique and charisma. A need to deeply penetrate experiences leads to comprehension of underlying motives or to imagining all sorts of fearful motives in others. Fear of vulnerability and losing control can lead to emotional repression. The following information comes from Isabel Hickey's Astrology, a Cosmic Science, copyright 1992 by Isabel M. Hickey Trust. Moon in Scorpio. Note that this is the fall position of the Moon. Dominating and aggressive, impatient and moody, given to brooding, easily hurt and can be jealous, impulsive, desire as the motivating force, strong pride and will, intensely passionate in response to life, set in ways and very stubborn, apt to be disappointed in love, apt to demand too much and not give enough of understanding, sit in judgment on others too quickly, greatest need, to learn to forgive and forget. Strong physically, sensual, extremist in temperament, strong, deep feelings, but they need handling. Needs to achieve an optimistic attitude toward life. Go after what they want and usually get it and then find out it's not what they really wanted. In a male chart, will attract a possessive and jealous mate if Moon is afflicted. Sun-Moon alchemy. The elemental combinations of the Sun sign and the Moon sign. The following information comes from Charles and Susie Harvey's Sun sign, Moon sign. Copyright Charles and Susie Harvey, 1994, again in 2003. First published by Aquarian, 1994. Each sun-moon type is a combination of elements. In the following descriptions of the element combinations, please remember that the pairing can be either way around. For example, a fire-earth combination refers equally to sun-fire, moon-earth, as it does to sun-earth, moon-fire. There will be subtle differences, but the dynamic is generally the same. Earth-water combinations. Flanders and Swan sing "Mud, mud, glorious mud," and you do not have to be a hippopotamus to appreciate the qualities of mud. Think of the rich fertility of well-irrigated fields, the potter's clay on the wheel ready to be formed, the clay of bricks and tiles, or the malleable concrete which forms the basis of so much construction. This is one of the most practical, supportive, and nourishing of combinations. It combines the capacity to feel sympathy for others with a devotional determination and enterprising ability to do what needs to be done to meet others' needs. American churchman Reinhold Niebuhr, Sun in Cancer, Moon in Taurus, gives eloquent expression to this type's orientation. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. When the sun is in earth and the moon in water, the individual can readily develop a practical understanding of day-to-day life and seems to have the innate wisdom to know what is important and what is not in a situation. For this type, both practical and emotional needs make sense and should intertwine in a balanced, normal life. Consider this view of the 18th century wit Samuel Johnson, who had Sun in Virgo and Moon in Pisces. A man is in general better pleased when he has a good dinner upon his table than when his wife talks Greek. A bit dated, yes, chauvinistic indeed, but nevertheless, Johnson expresses that practical wisdom and measured sensuality of the earth-water combination. Shadow side. The earth-water individual wants both material and emotional security, and therefore usually views change and challenge as threatening. As a result, there is with this type a propensity to get stuck in the mud, and a danger of getting swamped by duty and slowed down by the inertia of possessiveness and limited viewpoint. Life is highly personal for this individual. What they can see, taste, hear, smell, and feel, and how it might affect their world, is all important to them. The larger, detached viewpoint is usually lost on them. They may need to learn how to move just a little out of their well-defined groove so that life does not become too stagnant. And like quicksand, their minds can suck them down. Relationships. The earth-water person normally finds immense satisfaction in a relationship that brings out the innate, dependable, resourceful, gentle, devotional qualities of this combination. This individual feels affirmed and valued when they know they are needed and valued for their useful accomplishments. People with this combination are particularly good at serving and caring for others, and once they find their romantic niche, they get on with nurturing and nest building. Hence, they make excellent partners and tend to prefer sitting around the fire drinking hot cocoa to lots of razzle-dazzle on the town. This type helps to ground and contain the more unstable, exciting fire-air type. There's likely to be a mutual attraction due to the striking differences. Male versus female. This is a primarily receptive, feminine combination and has all the hallmarks of the female stereotype: caring, domestic, loyal, quiet, and persevering. Both male and female of this type will tend to be introverts and can work well on their own in an artistic medium, but they could also develop a shrewd business sense and do well in the marketplace. They can employ their pragmatism and sensitivity in quiet but purposeful ways, sussing out the climate of the times and the integrity of would-be business partners. The following observations about your Sun-Moon combination are drawn from insights gained from astrologer Jefferson Anderson's book, Sun Sign, Moon Sign, an observation of many different individuals. The writing itself comes from Mantak Chia and William Yu Wei's Cosmic Astrology. Copyright 2012 by North Star Trust, published by Destiny Books. Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Scorpio. Gladiator. You are in fact an exceedingly emotional person, even though you may appear distant and cold. There are periods when the strength of your emotions carries you away, but you always have the ability for difficult work and imaginative activity. Your opinions about the world are very fixed and seldom change. You are the type of individual who seems to know what is right for you. You most likely put forward your freedom by dominating all your playmates when you were young. As the nonconformist of the zodiac, few can match you for pure determination, audacity, and aggression. Ultimately, you grow wiser and a lot less hot-headed, and fortunately you are fast to learn from your mistakes. Capricorn Scorpios have two sides that are rather different in nature, the out-of-control sensualist and the painstaking reformer. Capricorn's boredom or inhibition is not at all a part of you. You are never hesitant to say just what you think with frankness and sometimes brutal honesty, because you take the world and yourself with complete seriousness. While very perceptive, you have a strong sanctimonious streak in you, and your prejudices and dug-in attitudes generally have the last word. Your own interests are usually first, and you have a somewhat heartless disregard for others. Often your tastes are founded on whether something is to your benefit. Be careful about being so manipulative. You can probe and search the depths of existence or fly to amazing heights of spiritual wisdom, as can all those who have the moon in Scorpio. You have most likely done both because you are so curious you want to experience everything. You have most likely done both because you are so curious you want to experience everything. Your future and whatever you do in life is largely up to you, with all that resolve. You are creative and sensual in love, but not very faithful. You are really into adventure, like all Capricorns. Anyone who can keep you for a lifetime, considering all of this, is a very rare person. Your approach to reality is to look for gimmicks or places where people might slip up. You could make a brilliant detective, psychologist, or scientist with your fantastic insight and keen perception. As long as you have a clear objective in sight, you will be happy, even though you tend to be somewhat pessimistic in your dealings in life. You are very spirited, and there is nothing you love more than a quarrel, especially an academic one. Having a forum for conveying your views is important for you. It can be chancy trying to keep your beliefs and persuasions locked up inside because you are so emotional. An excellent release for some of those hidden desires is writing. Notes from Charles and Susie Harvey's Sun Sign, Moon Sign. Quote, "Sex is one of the 9 reasons for reincarnation. The other 8 are unimportant." Henry Miller, fellow native Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Scorpio. Your greatest strengths: moral integrity and strength of character, perceptive and penetrating mind, quiet but fervent support of the underdog and of those you love, ability to focus on a goal and remain undeterred by obstacles, compassion and courage to undergo suffering for the sake of regeneration. Your greatest weaknesses: tendency to be too serious, rigid, and austere, to be accusatory and blind to your own prejudices, to get despondent and stuck in narrow and pessimistic attitudes. Images for integration: a prisoner in solitary confinement undergoes a conversion and becomes an indefatigable worker for the transformation and betterment of the lives of his inmates. A priest turns his home into a shelter for the sick and homeless.